Alright, this is Boxing with the Truth, and I am the Truth. It's August 16th, 2015, and today we have the pleasure of having with us Ramon Luis Yori Boy Campas, former IBF World Superweight World Champion. Also, we have with us his manager, Joe Diaz, who will be his interpreter today. How you guys doing?
Oh, we're doing good. Yori's ready for the fight. Even though it's not listed, it'll be listed probably tomorrow or the next day. And because our promoter, Diane Fisher, Lee D Promotions, was away. She had about 4 or 5 fights that she promoted over the last 6 weeks, so she's busy. After this fight, she's going to China in 2 weeks to do a show. So that's why I don't see it listed on BoxRec.
Okay, and just so the fans understand what you're talking about, Yori Boy actually does have a fight this next week, August 22nd. Who is his opponent?
His opponent, his name is Anthony Michael Warwick. He's out of Maryland.
Okay, and where's this fight going to be located?
It'll be at the rodeo grounds in Three Forks, Montana.
Okay. Now, also, is he going to be fighting at super middleweight in this fight?
He'll be fighting as a middleweight.
Okay.
160. We fight in 2 different weights, 154 and 160.
Okay, now his pro...
This fight is scheduled for 160.
Now, his pro record is listed as 103 wins, 79 knockouts, 17 losses, and 3 draws. But no, you've told me off air that that's not correct, so let me know what it is.
Okay, the 17 losses is correct. The knockouts, 2 were never put in by the Arizona Boxing Commission, so he has 81 knockouts, and fights also were not put in that we did, and it stands at 131 fights.
Okay. Now, he debuted at age 15, correct?
That's correct.
And he's still fighting strong at 44. Like I just said, he has a fight coming up.
Yes, this is a tune-up fight because his retirement fight will be against Anthony Bonsante of Minnesota, who also had a world title. They're both 44. It'll be the Battle of the Ages, and that'll be in Butte, Montana, on January the 23rd at the Civic Center that holds 9,000 people.
And I was actually going to bring that up because I did hear rumors about him fighting in January against Anthony Bonsante up here in Minnesota, one of our Minnesota fighters. And so I was not aware. I was not.
It's not a rumor, but this has been planned for the last 16 months.
Okay, but I was not aware that that actually is going to be his retirement fight. So everybody's heard it here. That will be Yori Boy Campas's last fight.
That will be his retirement fight, and that's it.
Okay, as another Minnesota guy he faced, he actually fought Matt Vanda twice, and they split.
Yeah, he fought. The first time they gave it to Vanda, we had about maybe 200 people. It was 0 degrees. They waited for us after we took the shower and limbered up a little bit. We went outside, and all of a sudden, all these people come rushing over. And they said to Campas, "We know you won the fight. Vanda's our man, but you won the fight." And so then we settled the score when he fought him the second time, and Campas won by unanimous decision.
So how come there was never a third fight?
Well, because, judges, like I always tell them, buy a pair of glasses, I'll gladly volunteer, I'll pay for them. Because people see things different ways, and, it was the home crowd, and, homeboy, we fought in his territory. Vanda's a guy, don't get me wrong. I like Matt and I are good friends, and Yori Boy likes him too. And when he came to Mexico to fight, we treated him like royalty, so everybody was very happy. That's it.
Okay, so now I got a question for Yori Boy, if you wouldn't mind asking him.
Yeah, sure.
Like I said, he has so many fights. You don't see any fighters nowadays with this many fights on the record. So, and he's fought some of the biggest names in the sport. But who is the one guy that got away from him in his career that he just never got a chance to fight?
Okay. De todos los peleadores que tú peleaste, ¿qué era el que se escapó y querías pelearlo, pero nunca pasó? ¿Crees que era Gary? Ahí, a lo mejor tuvo Gary, un peleador que... Well, we're going to tell you a true story, okay? I have the contract from Main Events signed by Moretti. Moretti was like the matchmaker and second in command with Duva and Kathy, his wife. And what happened, we think that when Top Rank found out that we had that fight, I even had T-shirts that I'm still carrying with me, brand new, Tudo Gatti versus, Yori Boy Campas. They backed away from the fight. The Gotti fight never took place, and we think Top Rank was the culprit that got to Moretti and told him, don't let that fight happen.
So out of all the boxers, that's the one that got away from him was Arturo Gatti.
Arturo Gatti, yeah. And it would have been a hell of a fight.
Oh, I agree. That would have been a war.
It would have been a war.
So now, I also you just announced that he will be retiring next year, but I want to ask him now. I mean, his longevity is unbelievable. Why is he still fighting?
Well, one thing is, he was over the hill when he met me, and then the diet that I put him, because I do all the cooking for the last 12 years. My diet, I have about 4 million people in the United States on, and he's never been sick since the day he came with me. And after the first fight, on the 5th fight, we fought Regan, he got cut. And then the diet kicked in, and from that day on, he's never been cut. Also, another thing that people don't know, Yori Boy Campas has never been knocked off his feet.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
Yep, I'm just telling you.
So, but
and I don't look at him as an old man, because then I would lose how I train people. He's right now, I would put him in the category that he's actually equivalent to a kid today, 30 years old or better. That's an athlete. He's in tremendous shape, tremendous power, and the only reason that I entertained even training him, because I didn't know all the problems that were going to come later to face me, was that no drugs. He fell in love with the same girl that he married. And, he fell in love with her in the 1st grade. He left school in the 6th grade. And at the age of 15, after 57 amateur fights, he turned pro. And the man then, at the age of 21, proposed, and they both got married. He's got 2 15-year-old twins, and he's got a 20-year-old that's in the university. A very bright kid. He's got 3 boys, and it's a good family.
And what's
no tattoos, no drugs, no gangs, no nothing. And he minds his business. All he does is train, sleep, eat, and that's it.
What some of the boxing fans might not know is his brother is actually or was a pro boxer.
Oh no, it was Francisco. His brother Frank died.
Oh.
And he was, in fact, he tried to keep Yori Boy out of the gym when he started in his amateur career. He didn't want his brother to fight. But he died a few years ago.
Okay. Now,
Francisco was a tough kid, a good fighter.
Now, speaking of training, he's had some old school methods that he used to train with, right? Like chopping wood, shoveling gravel and sand, taking herbal drinks, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, herbal drinks, no. But as far as chopping wood and shoveling gravel and sand, and in the winter when the safety glasses get fogged up because of your breath, we go onto the big truck tires.
So now, can you ask him this question for me? Is he worried about long-term damage to his body or to his brain after all these fights?
Well, that's one of the reasons that I've allowed this to happen, because I wanted him to retire before, but I had him checked by the best in the United States. One of the tests, in fact, that has to do with the brain, it's an 8-hour test, and there's only 2 doctors that do it, one in Spanish and one in English, and we took him to Beth Israel over in New York, and he had the test done. They took 8 hours. They get a half hour for lunch, and he passed with flying colors. I've had CAT scans. I've had everything done to him, MRIs, and no damage has been done, thank God.
Okay, now I know that he actually can make furniture. So is that what he's gonna do when he retires next year after this fight with Anthony Bonsante?
Well, it wasn't just furniture, but he was making also kitchen cabinets. But no, he's going to be in politics in Mexico.
Oh, okay.
He's going to be in the political arena helping some people. They've offered him a job.
So has he ever in his career, does he have superstitions or rituals or habits that he does before a fight?
Well, the main ritual he always does. First he calls his mother and father, then he talks to his wife and the 3 boys, and then that's it. And then right after the fight, he calls everybody.
And how did he get involved in boxing? Why did he become a boxer?
Okay, hold on a minute. ¿Por qué tú empezaste, José? ¿Por qué pusiste eso en tu mente?
No, pues ya traía vivir, confiar, voluntad, y aparte pues veía a mi hermano Francisco.
One of the things is he always loved the sport, but mainly because his brother was boxing, and he wanted to follow in his brother's footsteps.
Okay, now I know he's had a lot of memories, because I mean he's had a lot of fights. But ask him what's one of his favorite memories in his boxing career.
La memoria mejor del museo que tú tienes. Es la mejor memoria que te gustó.
Pues al principio de mi carrera, cuando inicié en Navajoa, cuando empecé a pelear en Navajoa, un recuerdo muy bonito porque pues ahí desde empecé a lo que es una carrera.
Yeah, his best memories is when he started boxing in his own hometown of De La Hoya, and his career just kept going and going and going. He had the whole town behind him, and those are memories that, he lives with.
Okay, is there one person that has inspired him in his life, inside and outside the ring, throughout his career?
Hay una persona que en el museo que te enseñó nosotros, hermano, pero...
Ah, sí, pues en aquel tiempo, cuando yo me inicié, andaba fuerte Julio César Chávez.
Well, one of the guys that he always looked up to that inspired him was Julio Chavez, the father.
Okay. So, at this point, with basically probably two fights, maybe 3 fights left in his career, ask him to sum up his career to this point.
Con todas las peleas que tuviste y todo, ahora que estás acabando, ¿qué piensas?
¿Qué pienso? Pues que pienso muchas cosas ahorita, porque pues ya después de tantas peleas arriba del ring y ahora abajo, a ver cómo nos va este problema que tenemos. Pero pues yo pienso que me voy a retirar bien. Mi apoyo aquí de Montana es
Well, one of the things is the people here in Montana over the last 3 years that he's been training here, and they've inspired because, the majority of them don't have a drop of, Spanish blood. And they love him because of his ways and his politeness. And of course, another thing that keeps him going is our case that's 12 years old. Hopefully, one day we will win. And that's it.
Okay, now which case is that? Because I know that there's been a lot of corruption in boxing towards Yori boy, and a lot of.
The case is this: that not just him. When I discovered what they did to him, I saw the same pattern. Over 45 champs that Top Rank has had that came out of Mexico. They were robbed, including the Internal Revenue, the taxes that they pay for everybody else. For instance, when he fought De La Hoya, his taxes should only have been $12,000. Yet $30,000 they charged him. So everybody else they got paid, he paid the taxes for. And they did that as a pattern all the way down the line.
Okay, let's talk about when he fought De La Hoya. There seems to be there was something wrong with that contract, right? It seems like somebody changed the number.
Let me explain you the contract. The contract originally was made in 2001. And that contract was for $300,000. But what happened, people told De La Hoya, his trainers, Bob Arum, he don't stand a chance. Wait a couple of years, get a few more fights under your belt. So they made the fight for May the 3rd, 2003. The bookies, unbeknown to me, I didn't even know anything about Campas then. It was a fixed fight. The corner, a father and a son, that they brought in from Tijuana, threw in the towel when Campas's back was turned, because the bets were that it wasn't going to go past 7 rounds. And what happened that night, because 3 or 4 days before that fight, he saw. They called him to the office, and Bob Arum said to him, "¿Cómo estás, amigo? How are you, my friend?" "Oh, very good, very good." And he signed a $100,000 bout sheet. When he saw the 1 and all the zeros, he thought it was $1 million, and he signed it. He walked away with a $20,295 check. 17 days later, on May 20th, to his manager, imagine the most important fight, the De La Hoya Campas fight, he didn't even come to the fights. They mailed the check to California, the Star Trucking Company, for $180,000. Mr. Jimenez has a deposit slip in Bank of America, Yori Boy Campas, he deposits $73,000. $73,000 and $20,000, okay, is $93,000. And then there was an advance that was also taken out in the check. So if you add that, that's what he made, and that's $12,000 that he only should have been paid in taxes. Mr. Jimenez and his friends never paid a penny. They kept the money, and that was the agreement, whatever they did with Top Rank. They robbed this man blind. And all the receipts that came in to Oscar De La Hoya was $22 million. And Bob Arum made another $50 million on that fight. And the bookies that had everybody, that the fight wouldn't go past the 7th round, they won. And he was heartbroken. He didn't know he didn't have a scratch. And I played the tape of what the people at the tables were saying. That's not what was happening in real life. Oh, Campas just got hit. Oh, he's hurt. He's dead. That didn't happen. It was all already programmed, so there be no questions asked. Because that's why they had a heart attack. I had 18 calls in one day on December 22nd of 2003 when he signed with me. because his contract with Top Rank was over in November. And I wouldn't talk to him, and I told his wife in a nice way, I never talk to another man's fighter. He has a contract with Top Rank. Top Rank and I always got along. We never had a problem. Every fighter that I brought to Top Rank, they got paid. No arguments. Signed a contract, that was it. When they found out that he became my fighter, that's when the world turned over. Because they know me. Sooner or later, somehow, I was going to find out. And the first thing I found out is he had no social security number. So I took him to the Internal Revenue. And within 5 weeks, his wife, his 3 boys, and him had a social security number. They robbed the Mexican fighters blind.
Do you
remember what I just told you?
Ask Yori boy, does he believe that any of his other fights in his career were fixed?
Okay. Cualquier otras peleas que tú tuviste, ¿tú crees que alguna estaba arreglada?
No, ninguna. Yo no sabía de esta tampoco.
Yeah. First of all, he doesn't even know that the De La Hoya fight was fixed. He doesn't even know about any other fights that were fixed. But all he knows is that when you look at the stub of the check, there's over 200,000 of them all over the United States. When you study my case on my website, JoeDiazTopLevelBoxing.com, it's all spelled out. The pimping of a world champion. There's many categories there, but there's the story, and I don't back down. I've been threatened. All kinds of damage has been done when I was in Phoenix, and many things that you know nothing about. But all this, I will never stop. I'm going to die 2 ways, naturally or unnaturally. I'm 76 years old. I ran with him today. I ran with my other fighters at 3 o'clock this morning. I don't stop. That's it. You got the story. You want to go with it? It was a fixed fight, and if there was any other fights fixed, those I know nothing about. But I know about that one, and I know what they did to Mexican fighters when they came here.
Okay, I want to ask Yori boy, when he walks away next year, is he satisfied with his career? Does he hold any animosity against the sport of boxing? Does he feel disrespected in his career?
Oh, ¿tú te sientes que la gente, ahora que te refieres, que perdiste respeto? No, definitely. No, we got respect for more. I mean, if you see where, let me just tell you something. You know Australia? They don't even know us. We were treated like we were kings. Finland, like kings. Ireland, like we were kings. That's respect.
So he's satisfied with his career, though.
Tú estás satisfecho con tu carrera.
Sí, y ese es el del mundo, yo creo que es una satisfacción.
Yeah, well, here's one thing that a lot of people don't know. They don't even know his record. And don't forget, we have 21 belts. Many different, for instance, IBA twice. WBC 5 times. IBC once. There's so many titles since the day he turned professional. There's 21 belts that most people never even seen one belt. So, of course, IBF, that was a great thing. But there's other titles he won throughout his career before he came to this country. And they mean just as much as all the other belts, because every one of them he worked for, and he earned them. And that's it. But he has no animosity towards anybody. The only hurt that we have is the case that we started, and of course the corruption in Arizona is so great that you have no idea. You have to study all the papers and see how they did. They shipped our case up to another county, to save the politicians. Napolitano was the governor. She was involved in it. She lied to Obama because the appointees have to say, "Are you involved in a federal or any kind of lawsuit?" She put down no. She was one of the first ones that I put and got her to reply in federal court. It was just Campas and I. The federal marshals, I had to pay $150 each to serve the papers to everybody. And you don't know what I've been through. I lost my gym, my kids, my mother died at 93 years old. She didn't belong in Phoenix. I had a heart attack, 41 days in a coma. So, you guys don't know the story.
I want to promote his fight one more time so the fans know that on August 22nd, who's his opponent going to be again?
His name is Michael Anthony Warwick from Maryland.
Okay.
He fought, I'll tell you who the kid is. He fought a guy that we had, Demetrius Hopkins. When he left my gym, he was 20-0. And Tommy Brooks, Duva's son-in-law, who married Donna Duva, can tell you that how good a fighter Bernard Hopkins' cousin is.
Okay, and his retirement fight is going to be versus Anthony Bonsante, one of our fighters here in Minnesota. It's going to be January 2016, so do not miss that if you're in the area. Please.
No, it's July 23rd. I mean, January 23rd, 2016.
Okay, and I just want to wrap the interview up with one last question. If you could ask Yori boy, I mean, he's been through so much in boxing and been around so much that if a kid came into the gym and asked him for advice on how to, take up this sport of boxing, what advice would he give him?
Si un chiquillo entra aquí y dice, me ayuda a boxear, ¿o qué crees? Si yo boxeo, un chiquillo, ¿qué le dices?
Que se ponga a boxear, a practicar, ver primeramente, ver qué es lo que tiene.
Well, number one, he would advise him that not only of the sport is a good sport, but to start training, and then he'll have to find out where he's going. And that usually, again, is the people that train you. They know, like me, if a kid 5 years old comes in here, right away within 2 days, I know how many fights he's going to have. I already know what he's got in him. And if he's just wasting his time, all these things I know. And only because of I've trained over 8,000 fighters,
Okay, well, listen, with that, I want to thank both of you guys for taking time to do an interview. And Yori boy, would you like to say anything to your fans or your supporters before we end the interview?
Yeah, ¿quieres decir algo a tus gente?
No, pues que pues ya estamos aquí acerca de la recta final ya de mi carrera. Esperamos pues que nos apoye en la pelea próximamente del sábado aquí en Trifor Montana. Y después en el próximo año, en enero 2023, aquí en Butte, Montana, ya para la despedida.
He just wants the support of the people for this fight, and also to support the fight that will end his career in 2016.
All right, and with that, the truth has spoken.